What's going on, wrestling fans, TNA fans, and WWE fans alike? God bless y'all. This is Reezonoticz back once again, and just doing a little video, a little discussion, man. Today is Thursday, the 14th of January 2010, and today is going to be a new TNA Impact. The Monday night thing so far was just a one-time thing. I do hope they go to Monday nights live soon, and I hope that they stick to the 3 hour format like Monday Nitro used to be, just to give us another hour of wrestling content. To be able to stack it up against WWE. But this discussion is going to be on just various random thoughts I have on the industry and on TNA especially. Last night I was online and I was on YouTube and I was looking up a bunch of old Sting WCW clips, and then I started looking up some TNA Sting clips, and one thing remains a constant with this guy, man. He really is the icon, man. I mean that face paint, that face, that swagger, that character, that persona is it has been the icon of wrestling from the mid '90s till today, and even before, even in the '80s, and all that. But what I'm saying is mid '90s when he donned the black and white face paint, he changed forever. That face, that he's a legend, man. It'll always be a part of wrestling. But I'm looking at all these old TNA clips, like from years ago. Everything from last year to 3 or 4 years back. And I saw old clips like the feud that Sting had with James Storm, Cowboy James Storm, which was kind of short, and it was kind of mishandled because Sting got the win every single time. So it was very short. He just ate him alive, and that was it. But there was even though it was misused in that sense, I think James Storm should have gotten a couple wins, and you could have stretched the feud out. Uh, but still, the matches were very well done, and just the whole rivalry that they had, I really enjoyed. I was watching a promo yesterday where James Storm and Sting were going to be forced to tag together as part of the egotistical eight, whatever that Jim Cornette came up with. That it put Robert Roode and Booker T together when they were feuding, put Sting and James Storm together when they were feuding, put Kip James and the Outlaws, man. I forgot the TNA names, but Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn. It put them two together. So that was a very exciting time, and I was watching a promo of James Storm and Sting, and James Storm gets the microphone and he's like, "Let's get something straight. I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy because I was never a little Stinger fan. Unlike you, my mama never let me play with makeup," which was really funny. And then he just told him, so all I gotta say to you is sorry about your damn. And then Sting just clocked him and they started brawling. And then James Storm went for the beer bottle and Sting whipped out the bat and he was like, "Come on, bring it." And James Storm, left the ring, and it was very good, man. Stuff like that. And I was seeing you know, the old three-way and four-way matches with Sting, Angle, Christian Cage, and AJ Styles. Matches like that, and just looking at all these, somewhat old TNA clips, and knowing what we have today and what we're seeing in TNA today, I'm positive, man. I'm fully convinced that for at least the last, in my opinion, because I did not start watching TNA when it first came out. I didn't know about it. I started watching TNA maybe about 3 years ago, I'd say. So, at least for the last 3 years for me, TNA has been the definitive wrestling product. WWE has not really put anything out there. WWE's got the big business mentality, whereas they're established and they know that they're number one as far as ratings and as far as drawing and selling out arenas and just having well established talent. So WWE does, and it's well documented. They tank pay-per-views. They tank shows. Their Raws and their SmackDowns and their ECWs. They tank all that just to put on four really good pay-per-views in a year, and that's an insult to me. That's an insult to the fans. You know, I think the pay-per-views they really focus on is the one that's coming up, which is Royal Rumble. WrestleMania most definitely always delivers. Um, Survivor Series is garbage. I even went to Survivor Series live a couple years ago and it was horrible. A TNA house show that I attended at the where UM plays basketball at the Bank United Center, whatever it's called. That was 10 times better than the pay per view I went to for WWE. But yeah, I think it's WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. Man, I forgot the other two, man. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's like 3 or 4 shows, pay-per-view shows that they really go all out, and then they just tank. They just coast. They cruise the rest of the year. Whereas TNA, they're not perfect. There's a couple impacts that suck, and whatever. But for the most part, TNA, since all they got is Impact, they put on a stellar show night in and night out, and then deliver at the pay-per-views. Yes, they've had some bad pay-per-views. I'm not gonna lie, but for the most part, TNA puts on a stellar show. And now I'm looking after this 3 hour special that they just had. I'm looking at the talent that they got, man, and I'm just thinking to myself, TNA really has the roster, man. WWE's roster does not compare. You know, I mean, I'll just do a quick off the top of my head, without any notes, comparison between the two. When it comes to young, fresh talent, this is TNA right here. Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Jay Lethal, Consequences Creed, Homicide, Matt Morgan, Suicide, Hernandez, the Pope D'Angelo De Niro, Amazing Red, even though I cannot stand him, Samoa Joe, Abyss, um, Raven is, well, Raven's not young, but I'm sorry, I shouldn't even mention Raven. He was not young. Um, Again, this is off the top of my head, man. Who else? Who else? Who else? Now they got Shannon Moore. They got Jeff Hardy. Dude, they're just blowing up, man. They got all the young talent. And when we go to established talent, legends and veterans, Kurt Angle. Oh, I'm sorry, young talent, Desmond Wolfe. Come on. All right, established talent, veterans. Kurt Angle, need be said. Sting, nothing more need be said. Kevin Nash, Mick Foley, Hulk Hogan, at least for a little while, Scott Hall and Six, Sean Waltman, Jeff Jarrett, who else? Bobby Lashley, Scott Steiner. Don't know if I mentioned him. Man, they got such a great mix of Raven. That's a veteran. They got such a great mix of veterans and young talent. Ric Flair is there for the time being. Um, I mean, they just got it. They just got it on lock. And as far as an announcing team, the commentators, I don't watch ECW. I think that's a waste of time. I do watch Raw, every once in a while, most of the time, and I'll say I like Michael Cole as an announcer, and I like Jerry the King Lawler. They're cool, but nothing was better than when they had JR and the King together. But you know, when you have Mike Tenay, and thank God they got rid of Don West as far as an announcer, because I could not stand him. The guy knew nothing about wrestling. But now you have Mike Tenay and Taz. I mean, I really like their chemistry. I like their flow. I like their discussions. You know what I'm saying? I like the way they analyze the matches. My favorite announced team will always be the three-man team from WCW, which is Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Iron Mike Tenay, who's now on TNA. But like I said, man, I'm just looking at just what's going on in the industry, man. WWE, I'm not gonna say they don't have talent. They got some good talent. I'll tell you right now, young talent. Off the top of my head, again, I don't have papers in front of me or nothing. Kofi Kingston is amazing. Evan Bourne is a baby AJ Styles. He's amazing. Um, Jack Swagger, I don't really like him, but I can see I can see where there's potential. The Miz sucks. The Miz is horrible. John Morrison is amazing. CM Punk is great. Matt Hardy, I've always liked. Um, but see there's where I run into the drought. That's really about it. You know what I'm saying? Cody Rhodes and DiBiase, both great. Now, who are the established legends and talent? Undertaker, for sure, and he's not even there all the time. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, John Cena is garbage. Randy Orton's, he's pretty good. I like him, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Compare the list that I just came up with for TNA off the top of my mind with the list I just came up with for WWE off the top of my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's really no comparison. I'm not insulting WWE fans. Yo, if you like WWE, then stick with it, man. There's nothing wrong with it. Competition is good for the wrestling business. But what I don't like is when we're disrespectful and we start insulting each other and insulting talent. When we're not even in the ring, we don't got what it takes. As much as I don't like Samoa Joe and I talk about him and all that, and that, I do respect the fact that he is a professional wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do a part 2 to this video, and it's gonna be on possible feuds and storylines within the two companies. All right, God bless y'all, Stay watching wrestling, baby.